Thanks for watching and listening. My name's Trina, and my guest today is Sarah Berry. Thanks for talking to me.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Like most of the relationships I feel like I have these days, I know you through running. So you'd be out there with your stroller just giving it your all, and I was like, that is amazing.
Yeah, it feels like it's been a while since I've been out there with now having another kid, so it's hard to get back into it, but still.
But you find ways to stay active,
yes,
definitely. And we're going to get into that. This is kind of a two-parter. First, I want to kind of focus in on what grit means to you and kind of your definition and how you try to live with grit.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of a lot how I was raised. Like, I grew up on a ranch with both my parents, and my dad grew up on the same ranch. I was around my grandma who lived through the Great Depression, and she just had this spirit about her, you know, that she just had to keep working and keep trying, and like, you just never stopped, and there was always something to be done. So that's kind of, you know, in me, in that you just keep on going, you just keep on trying, and you don't mince words, you don't, you know, you're still trying to be positive and uplifting, but at the same time, I'm going to tell you like it is. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, and I think that everybody has that ability in them to go the extra mile, to go just that little bit more, and I want to be the person that helps get that out of people and inspires them to know, yes, you can push it just a little bit farther, you can do it just a little bit more, and hopefully if they've got me behind them, they feel a little bit more encouraged to step outside the box, and hopefully I live in a way that shows people that you are strong.
Yeah, we were talking about that a little bit beforehand, about social media and you know, it can be a lot, but there can be a lot good for it too. And I kind of described you as a firecracker with kindness, because you're not super filtered, you don't sugarcoat, but you're also not mean-spirited.
Right. And
do you find that just comes naturally for you, or are you one of those that types out the links?
Oh no, it comes pretty naturally. Like, I think anybody that knows me will tell you, you know, like you said, I'm not mean-spirited. Like, I never say anything out of, you know, like an unkind place. Anything that I say, even if it is a little bit more direct or a little, maybe some people might say harsh, so I do try to kind of like,
right,
not trying to be mean, but like, I feel like we miss that in a lot of people. People aren't direct. People want to just tell you what you want to hear, and I am not that person. And all of my friends know, you don't come to me because you want me to just kind of, oh yeah, it's fine, it's no big deal. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I think that we need a little bit more of that. Yeah,
that is the kind of friends you want to have. That is important.
I think so.
I mean, I feel the same way. If I'm coming to someone for advice, don't fill me up with fluff. That's just going to hurt me in the long run.
Exactly. It doesn't help you at all. You know, somebody that's going to be encouraging, and not just have something negative to say, but I'm going to have advice for you too. Right. You know, not just, oh no, I don't think that's a good idea. No, I don't think that's a good idea, and here's how we can change it, or how we can make it, you know, better for you, or whatever. It just, you know, you got to have that directness with like a suggestion of like, here's how we can do different. Here's how we can do better. You know, you gotta have an alternative.
Do you feel like your parents gave that to you growing up?
Oh,
yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were never, you know, discouraging of anything, but it was like, let's be realistic.
Right. Yeah.
That, you know, you want to dream big and have goals and plans, but like at the same time, you need to also recognize like what is around you, or where you're at, and what is possible, you know, kind of for where you are.
So that's going to be very important for you to make sure you pass on to your kids.
Exactly, yeah.
You and your husband see eye to eye on that kind of thing?
For the most part. I think we're both very realistic people. I don't think that I could have married somebody that didn't see eye to eye on that, for sure. He and I are both very direct people, and our 3-year-old, almost 4-year-old, she's pretty direct too.
Yeah. What are some of the things that you want most for her as she's going through this new world of social media?
I want her to be confident. You know, my mom was always very positive in how she spoke. She was never, negative about herself. And it's something that as an adult now, her and I can have more frank conversations and how we kind of feel about ourselves mentally or physically, anything like that. But as a kid, I never thought that my mom viewed herself negatively. If she did, I have no idea. And so I want to be that positive voice. I want her to think, highly of herself mentally and physically and her own abilities. And it's so hard there's so many different influences. And girls especially, I think, they're very susceptible to body image issues, and I don't ever want to feed that into her. I want her to just think like, yeah, I can do that. I'm strong. There's no reason that I can't do this, and just, go out there and try.
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing wrong with wanting to look and feel your best.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't remember my mom doing that whole, like
negative talk, or like,
yeah,
I don't like this,
that.
I don't like that. My mom never did that.
Yeah,
and so I want to be
really
the same.
Important. I think that's very valuable. Well, so that moves us into a little bit of one of your most recent passions, yoga. And so you've been teaching it, learning the practice. Has that something that is brand new for you, or have you always?
So let's see, probably like 10 years ago, I was really, really overweight and started going to the gym. This is when I still lived in California. And I really loved, they called them Synergy. They were like kind of yoga, Pilates, fusion, loved those classes. And so kind of off and on after I moved out here, I would take similar classes to that. And I would go through phases where I would practice a whole bunch and then I wouldn't do much, and just kind of back and forth. And then in maybe like 2017, started getting a little bit more consistent with it. And then Sweat opened up, and it was right down the street from my house, and they were like all the time. And one of my best friends, she was teaching, and she was like, just go for it. I think you'd be an awesome instructor. And so I thought, okay, now's the time to do it. And then I found out I was pregnant with my second daughter, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do yoga teacher training while pregnant with a toddler at home. And I went through a 1-month intensive with Pure Hot Yoga and Leslie Dawson. And it was so hard. It was so hard, but you learn so much about yourself, just mentally, the physical aspect of it too. I mean, you're practicing all the time. But I was just like, you know what, I can do this, because if I don't do it now, when am I going to do it?
Yeah.
So even, I was like 2 months pregnant and doing this teacher training, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. It was so wonderful, and it's been such a positive influence on me mentally, physically. My daughter loves yoga. She asks to get her yoga mat out all the time. She just thinks it's the best thing ever. She wants to go to yoga all the time. And so it's been a really wonderful experience. I've met a lot of people, and it's really great.
Let's plug Sweat real quick. Sweat
Hot yoga and fitness.
And
yes,
energy.
Strength, wellness, energy, tone is what it stands for. And it's all, we're very much, it's not just the physical, it's the mental, it's the community that we have. We have a wonderful group of instructors. We're all so different. We all bring something different to the table. The owners and the management are just fantastic, and they're uplifting and positive, and it's just, and our students too are amazing, and it's just, you haven't been there yet.
Yeah,
and you got to come last week.
I did. I got to come, and as someone, I do get intimidated by group classes. It's hard to walk in and see all of these people that look like, they're just these fitness models, or they know exactly what they're doing, and they can bend every way. And so I kind of go off to the corner, but it was at your own pace, do what you can do, no pressure to be just this way. It was a fantastic class. It was the flow, is that right? Yeah,
it was a gentle flow, so kind of a little slower, a little bit easier. It's one that I recommend people to start with. It's a good one, and I love teaching it. It's so much fun.
Well, you did a great job, and I did enjoy it, and I do like the mental aspect too. What do you feel like is one of the most important parts of the mental aspect to kind of go along with the physical challenge of it.
Kind of just getting out of your own way.
Yeah.
Getting out of your own head. And we say that I say that a lot at the beginning of my classes is, you know, let go of your expectations, let go of anything that's going on that's not going to serve you right now. So I mean, we all have so much stuff going on in our lives, and letting that room just be your space, letting me hold that space for you to just let all of that stuff fall by the wayside and just focus on your breath, your moving, taking it slow, not worrying about anything else, and just, you know, just doing what you can, meeting yourself where you're at today. You know, I mean, and you know, as a runner, like, maybe you feel really good one day and then you go out there the next day and you're like, okay, this does not feel good at all. And just, you know, I think that where we are kind of like as a society, we don't have that same mind-body connection as maybe 50 years ago when people were out and about a lot more. And it's something that I get a lot of feedback from students that, like, they don't know where their body is. They don't know what their body's doing. They don't know what something should feel like. And just kind of trying to take a few minutes, clear your mind, reset, reconnect. It's really helpful physically and mentally.
And that's a lot of stuff you can take off the mat too.
Absolutely.
Because I recognized a lot of stuff from some of the meditation practices I've been trying to be diligent with, and it's a lot of learning to be in that moment, not where you were a few minutes ago or a day ago or where you've got to be later on, but just focus on here and now.
Yep.
Take a breath and kind of, you know, change your expectations of, you know, everything.
Yeah, because you can walk into anything with an expectation of that's how this is going to be, that's how I'm going to make it be. And then you spend so much time mentally and physically forcing it, that's something that's not supposed to be that way. And just, if you just accept where you're at, you're going to be a lot happier for it all around.
Exactly. Great words. Okay, your best piece of advice sending people out into the week.
Get out of your own way. And don't be afraid to fail. That's one thing that I have been talking about in all of my classes lately is failure is not a bad thing. Because if you fail, you tried. You got out of your head, you got out of your own way, and you at least put yourself out there.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to fail. It's not a bad thing.
Right. Fail forward.
Fail forward.
Say.
Yes.
All right. Follow Sarah Barrett Yoga on social media. Thanks so much. Appreciate you very much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.